2013 was quite a year weather-wise. Let's go to the top 10 weather stories right now. We'll start at number 10 in Mexico. Twin hurricanes hitting that country, one from the Gulf of Mexico, the other from the Pacific. $5 billion in damage, more than 100 people killed in that flooding. Now to South Dakota, 12 days into autumn. We're looking at this, 4 feet of snow, 70-mile-per-hour winds. 20,000 cattle were killed in this storm as ranchers were caught off guard. Now to the northeast, to nor'easter. A big storm back in February, 83-mile-per-hour winds at one point, but the pressure was equal to a Category 2 hurricane. Now to Arizona, where the wildfires struck. Lightning strike north of Phoenix created this wildfire. It grew to 6,000 acres. The Granite Mountain hotshots were sent in. The wind shifted directions on them and blew the fire right back at those firefighters. 19 died that day. That's the largest loss of life from firefighters since 9/11. To East Asia, right here, big dome of high pressure, very populated area here, Shanghai into Shimanto, Japan. Shimanto, Japan had 106 degrees. Shimanto, Japan has never been that hot. In fact, no city in Japan had ever been that hot on any day, any summer, as long as they were keeping records. Now to Oklahoma City. A 210-mile-per-hour tornado, an EF5, headed to Moore, Oklahoma. Moore, Oklahoma, right here, and it was coming in from the west, and we knew it was moving into a populated area. We watched it live on CNN from our local affiliates and broadcast it live to the world. And that school is Plaza Towers. It took a direct hit. 7 children were killed in that school, but look at the damage that that school had. Now on to El Reno. I was there 11 days later. This is a 2.6-mile wide tornado that moved to the southeast for a while. But when it got very strong, almost 300 miles per hour with some mobile Doppler radar units, it turned to the left, caught an awful lot of storm chasers out of where they thought they should be, in a very bad position. That's where the storm should have gone, in that white line. It didn't do that. It turned to the left, and the storm chasers were right there. In fact, even the Weather Channel was right there. Their storm chase vehicle was hit by this tornado, but sadly, Tim Samaras and 2 other chasers were killed in that vehicle right there as the tornado overtook them. Colorado flash floods. This is a once in a 1,000-year flood. 17 inches of rain in 8 days. 9 inches of rain in 24 hours. When you get that kind of rain in the mountains, it's going to run off. It can't all soak in. So the rain came down, and it ran down the mountains and washed away towns, washed away bridges and roads, and there was significant damage all the way into Boulder. Also had very effective video. Look at this video. We watched this just for hours as they rescued people out of some of these creeks and streams. These high water rescues went on for a couple of days. Now we go to India. 15 inches of rain in 24 hours. And look at what happened here. These towns were eaten alive by the water, washed away into the rivers here, one building after another. There were religious pilgrims in the area as well, and more than 5,000 of them died. Now on to Europe. This isn't a flash flood like we've just seen the past 2. This is a long-term rain event, and it rains in the mountains, and it rains in the plains, and it all gets down into the rivers. And the rivers there in Europe went up. The Danube, the Rhine, the Elbe, all at historic record levels. They've been keeping records for some of these rivers since 1501. Even broke those records. Vienna, Prague, Budapest, all those ancient cities hit by this flood. Now to number 1, Super Typhoon Haiyan, the strongest storm to ever make landfall in recent history. A 200-mile-per-hour monster super typhoon. We had 20-foot storm surge. Andrew Stevens was there. Anderson Cooper was there. 6,000 people died as a 200-mile-per-hour wind rolled through Tacloban. Also with that 20-foot storm surge, there are still 2,000 people missing. There are millions of people that don't have homes right now, still in the Philippines. All of this happened in a year that the IPCC put out their climate report. Those are the climate gurus for the United Nations. And they say we're going to have more heat waves in the future. We're going to have more floods. And we're also going to have more drought because of climate change. So maybe what we think of right now as extreme weather might just be the new normal.